Yeah, believe in yourself. Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Who else gon' believe in you? Believe in yourself.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining the Manny Huss Show once again. I have with me Angela Spring.
Hi everybody.
We are ready. It's going to be a really great interview. This is my first time meeting this great woman, but I'm sure that she has so much of value to bring to you. So you make sure that you watch the whole interview and click the YouTube page.
All right.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Y'all ready?
Manny Huss Show. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Please tell the people your name and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Angela Spring, and I am the owner of Success by Design. I am a certified professional coach, motivational speaker, playwright, mom, wife, but
I love it.
But that's basically what I do.
That's awesome. So why did you get started?
Wow. So I've been speaking since I can remember, as far as, I think first grade was when I won my first contest. It was a all Catholic Schools Week contest, and I actually won against some high schoolers. So I've been speaking for a long time. I've been writing for as long as I can remember, and I actually was coaching in my former job. So I worked at JFK High School as a certified entrepreneur teacher and a career coach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And prior to that, I was working as a career coach and doing entrepreneurship. So those things are not new to me. But what happened in 2016 is I had a stroke.
Mm.
I was teaching at the school. Actually, the day that it happened, the night before, one of our students had gotten killed. And so I know that there was stress from that, but there obviously was other things going on. And from that moment, I had to stop teaching. I didn't know what I was going to do because I've been working since I was 14, and I just didn't know. And my mother said, this is the time for you to live your dream.
Yeah.
So when I actually thought about what do I want to do, I said I can design it however I want. Mm-hmm. So I can be a playwright and I can continue to motivate people. And you know what? I can still coach because I love doing all of those things. Right. So that's how I actually got started working for myself.
Okay, so the impact that you were having on the kids, what was it so much inside of you is I have to work with these kids. I have to be able to help them have a part in their lives.
Wow, I love working with youth, and I have always been drawn to working with youth. I love people, first of all. I'm a people person. But when it comes to youth, and anybody, I actually tell people you were created on purpose for a purpose. And I remember, Manny, when I was on the floor at an apartment. My husband and I were divorced. So that's a whole nother story if you want to get into it. But we were married for 16 years, then divorced for 4. And I actually was considering suicide at that moment in my life. And I just asked God, why did you make me? Because I am a survivor of molestation, of date rape, of so many things, and I was just tired. And he said, I created you on purpose for a purpose. And so as I got out of that mindset and began to live again, and I was able to get this job at JFK and working with different students from Cleveland, I saw some of the same things in them that was going on with me. Oh, wow. Things that people were misinterpreting. Yeah. And I also saw potential. Okay. I saw these great people who were just like, you know what? I want to be somebody. And I'd have to tell them, you are already somebody. And so I began to tell them exactly what God would tell me. And I'm telling you, they were like, I need to be in her class. Gotcha. Because she's telling me something that people haven't been telling me. See, I wasn't paying attention to what they were doing wrong. I was paying attention to all of the right that they had in them. And then there were many kids who weren't doing wrong, but nobody was paying attention to them. They weren't getting the attention because they weren't causing problems.
No, why is that? Why is there so much attention played to?
Because I would say even at the school, it's so many limited resources that you have to kind of prioritize what you're going to do. So if you've got a child that's disruptive or is really going through, you got to put your resources there. And unfortunately, some of the other kids sort of get lost in the cracks. Wow. Now, that's not I would say, the administrators or the teachers' intention. In fact, many teachers are going above and beyond, spending time on weekends and evenings, but they can only do so much.
Right.
But
Yeah, because most of them have their own families to go home to.
absolutely. And you know, when you're a kid, you see somebody keep acting up, they get all the attention.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
So when they hear somebody say universally, every single body in here was created on purpose for a purpose. And I'm not going to talk to you about the basement. I'm going to talk to you about the universe. I'm going to talk to you about where you can rise to. They go, wait a minute, I ain't heard nobody say that to me before.
Yeah, right.
And I was really able to not only impart, but guess what? I learned a lot from them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, let's go backwards a little bit, because you briefly talked about this whole journey of the divorce and all of that. Like, let's deal with that for a minute, because one of the biggest challenges of entrepreneurship is this fake story that people create.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's like, so you see an individual that has reached a certain level of success in your particular industry that you're in, and then you say, oh, I could do that. But then you start to look at yourself and say, wait a minute, I've been through some stuff. So I always like people to tell their story so that people can say, that's me too. I don't have to be perfect in order to be like Angela.
Absolutely. You definitely don't have to be perfect, because Angela's not perfect and nobody is. What you have to be is willing to live your purpose. And that can be really hard when you're doing everything right and it seems like everything wrong is going on. That's the issue that many people have. And I'll share something personal with you. About 4 weeks ago, no, not even 4, probably about 3 weeks ago, my husband came home and said, I lost my job. And Manny, I'm telling you, I was so stunned, because we've been going through this, that, and the other. And I was like, come on, how are we going to do this? Because he is allowing me, sacrificing and allowing me to start this company and grow it and do all this. And without his job, how are we going to make it, right? And so I was just like, oh my goodness. And guess what? I would go on Facebook, or I would look, and I'd see all these people who seem like they're just kind of living it up in their dream. And I'm going, Lord, I've been faithful. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. Why isn't that looking like that for me?
Right.
And I don't know who to talk to about it, because you can't tell everybody everything.
That's true.
And so I just was like, what am I going to do? And I was literally consumed. My husband was cool. He was like, look, I'm going to find another job. And we literally even went to Florida, because they were looking at him in Florida. So we've been traveling because of that. And God let me know that as soon as I stopped worrying about our issue and start thinking about how I can help somebody else, he was going to work it all out. So that was one of the things that I would say to people, is when you are in the middle, because that's the hardest part to be. If you have enough courage to start, do not give up in the middle. The middle is hard, because the people that you want to support you may not always have the tools or the information to support you. It's not always hate. Then there are some haters, but you knew they were haters before, let's just be real. Okay. And then there is this thing where you want it to come faster than it really was planned for you. So all that stuff goes on in the middle. And then don't let life happen. Don't let a spouse lose a job or something like that. And all of that happens, and you look and you see this perfect person on Facebook or on some video or whatever, and they look like they're living it up. Understand that they have their challenges just like you do. And as long as you're willing to stay in your purpose, live your dream, and not be too afraid to ask for help. And then guess what? Help somebody else. Even when things are not looking so good for you. That is when you're proven you're going to be able to handle what God has for you. So that is really what I would say. It's not perfect. I've worked in corporate situations. I made a nice amount of money, and all having to stroll different things that were happening. I didn't think I would be here, but guess what? I'm happier now than I've ever been, because I literally am walking every day in my purpose.
I love that.
Thanks.
That's really great. Now, for me, I was divorced as well.
Okay.
I just recently got remarried, so it'll be 2 years for us coming up in November.
Congratulations.
So how did you get through yours and bounce back?
Let me tell you. So number one, when we got divorced, even the judge was like, are you all sure? Because we walked in, we went to have lunch afterwards. We never hated each other. We hated what we were bringing to the marriage. We hated what we were doing with our kids, as far as the arguing, all that. And guess what? We were bringing a lot of our own individual baggage. And
Gotcha.
nobody taught us how to do this thing. We went to church. Nobody still taught us. So through my little journey and his, he dated, I dated. We stayed best friends. And it was a miracle because I literally knew I wanted to be married. I like to date, but I want to have some kind of, I don't just want to be out here.
Yeah.
So I was like, Lord, I want to be married. And he said, well, you were married before. And I said, okay. And he began to talk to me about what it means to be a wife. Not what I needed from somebody else, but what it meant to be a wife. And it was a spiritual journey for me. That's what got me through.
Gotcha.
And what happened was we went to a church. It was my birthday weekend, and I had been going and visiting this church, and they had this really great series on the Holy Spirit, and I was like, oh, we gotta go. This is my birthday. Come on. Ask my family. So my family came with me, and this pastor who never met me before, I was not a member, never met my husband now, never met anybody, but he couldn't even finish the benediction. He came over and said, I have something for you too. And then he said, are you all married, divorced? And we're looking, and we're like, we're divorced. And he said, will you stand up? And he said, God is telling me that he is going to restore everything that the devil took away.
Wow.
And what he didn't know is that God, that same day that God told me that I was created on purpose for a purpose, he said that he was going to restore my family, and my family was going to have an impact on the community, and our communities will literally have an impact on the world. And I might not see it with my own eyes, but it was going to happen.
Wow.
And but he told me that 2 years, and I was I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And my husband was praying. I didn't know that week he was praying for an answer. So we looked at each other like, we trying to get married again. But he called me that Wednesday and said, I think I want to try. And we got back together, and we've been married for 4 years now. And I'm excited. But guess what? It wasn't easy when we first got back.
Yep.
It was a little bit of stuff that God still had to clean us up with. And that is why I can tell you that even with the trials that we just had, we were able to do that together, still praying, still praising God.
I love it.
Yep.
My wife and I have this little saying that no matter what we go through, we're going to get through.
That's right.
Because it's like we believe that I'm like a Superman by myself, and like she's like a Superwoman by herself.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we join forces, can't nothing stop us.
That's right.
You know? And so it's like we always have that mindset because, I mean, it gets tough for us.
Yeah.
It's tough right now sometimes for us because, you know, you probably have seen me post stuff on Facebook about the amount of child support that I have to pay my ex-wife, and it gets tough.
It gets tough, and then throw entrepreneurship in it.
Yes. And it's like, right, and you just really have to have that mindset to keep going no matter what.
Yep.
No matter what. All right, so what is it that you're doing on a day-to-day basis with your business?
Okay, so on a day-to-day business right now, I'm really concentrating on growing Success by Design.
Okay.
I had a successful play last year called All of Me, and I'm still a writer, but I really want to take the time to grow Success by Design. Okay. So I'm coaching. I do coaching via phone globally. I also do coaching one-on-one with people, and I work mainly with people who are interested in either entering a career readiness, or career elevation, or entrepreneurship.
I love it.
So my goal is to help people create strategies where they actually design the success that they're looking for. And I go deep.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask anybody who's worked with me, I really do, because I understand that I could throw all the strategies and all the things in books out at you, but until you can see that you can do it yourself, and how about this, feel like that superwoman or that superman yourself, then it's not going to happen. And so my coaching is sort of a combination of that. So I still bring in that motivation, and then some real strategies. I have a background in business. I have a master's in business. And like I said, I'm certified to teach both career readiness and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And so I bring in techniques and strategies that really will help.
Now, there's somebody that's watching this interview right now. They're like, well, Angela, I don't care what you say. I'm about to quit my job. Talk to that person that's ready to quit their job, but it ain't really time.
So, you can quit your job and still be working there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad though. When people, because I remember doing that. I was gone. Yeah, I was sitting.
You was checked out, huh?
I was sitting in the chair, but I wasn't there. And what I would say is, at that point, when you're ready to go, you are worth the plan. You are worth the wait. And if you know that if you leave this job, we're not talking about a leap of faith, because that plays a part in it.
Yeah.
But we also have to use our common sense. If you have financial responsibilities and you have no idea, you haven't even planned how you're going to handle next week's or next month's responsibilities, begin the plan.
Gotcha.
You don't have to just leave, because that's an emotional leave. See, and the thing about that is, when people are ready to just jump ship emotionally, see, we change. What happens when your emotions calm down? You don't want to make a life-changing decision on that. So if you truly want to leave, you are worth the wait and you are worth the plan. So begin to, whether it's on your lunch break, before you go to work, when you get home, start to create some goals for yourself. If you can and you want to hire a coach to help you find a mentor, maybe somebody that's doing what you want to do. Connect with some good people who will support you, and not support you in what they want you to do, but support you with you trying to figure it out. Right? And you can begin to plan, and I think you will be so much better. Now, there's going to become a time where you still have to take a leap of faith. Because there's no perfect time, right?
Exactly right.
But don't just leave because you're mad, because you ain't gonna be mad forever.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you take your time, and you are worth the wait. You're worth the plan.
That's right. Now, what made you really have the audacity to say that I know I'm gifted, I know I'm very talented in this particular area, I'm going to do this by myself and just take this business head on, no matter how difficult it's going to be in the beginning? What made you have the audacity to do that?
So that's not hard for me. Not hard for me. That's the type of person that I am. I get that from my dad especially. And that's not always a good thing. I used to I want to do something. I had an idea at 2 a.m. At 8 a.m. I'm putting it together, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's good, but I had to learn how to slow it down. And that's what I mean by you're worth the plan and worth the wait. I learned that the hard way. But that's not hard for me. Okay. What made me, what I didn't do is I didn't want to leave those kids. I didn't want to leave my students. But I realized something. I'm not God. And God had me there for a specific time to do a specific job, and I did it. I'm still really connected with a lot of those students now. They're not kids anymore, but I'm still connected with them. So I know I did a good job. But it was really the stroke that pushed me. Because otherwise, I was just going to stay on. Because I thought I was doing something for them, but it was time to let them fly. It was time to let the next person come in and give what they had to give to the next class. And it was time for me to move. So what happened was, me and my mom were leaving Cleveland Clinic, the neurology appointment that I had after I had all the tests, so they could give me all the grim information. And I didn't accept that, Manny. They had 8 bottles of medication that they told me I need to take for the rest of my life.
Wow.
He also said that not only did you have one stroke, but you had one before. And you're going to have another one.
Wow.
I did not accept that. And my mother sat in her car and said, this is your time to live your dream. So listen, Martin Luther King said we would all like to have a long life because longevity has its place. And I remember him saying that it's not the length, but it's the quality. So I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I decided that I was going to live. And I do that. I'm serious. I'm going to live. And now with all this regret, not going on Facebook complaining about this, that, and the third, I'm
Yeah.
going to be a solution maker.
That's it.
And this business that I'm doing, it is about solutions. So what drives me, it would be nice to tell you that I got 100 clients, but I got 10 clients that I didn't have before.
That's it.
And it is because of the hard work that I do that people see I'm real and I know what I'm talking about. Because I can motivate you, but I'd rather teach you.
I love it.
So what really got me going was me really buying into what I tell everybody else. I was created on purpose for a purpose.
I love that. Let's talk about some fun stuff now.
All right, cool.
What's your favorite meal to make?
Oh, man.
And that meal, I'm talking about that when you make it for your husband, he excited like, "Babe, you making that? What? I can't wait to get home."
Oh, shoot. We just had it. So we celebrate Mardi Gras like it ain't nothing.
Okay.
So I made some bomb gumbo. Man, and I don't even do the meat. I mean, I made it with meat.
Yeah.
But I'm not really eating meat. So,
Okay.
But I made it for them, man. So I do that, jambalaya. I made the great bananas Foster.
What's that?
So let me tell you, you cut up some bananas, and in the pan, like a frying pan or a saucepan, you put butter, you put brown sugar, a little bit of nutmeg, some cinnamon, let that get nice and bubbly.
Okay, Chef Angela, keep going.
You put the bananas in there, and then you take some rum and some banana liqueur, put that on there, flambe it. And then if you don't have a problem with dairy, put that over some vanilla ice cream. And boom, that's bananas Foster.
Oh.
It goes right back to the whole New Orleans. All my family's from the South.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Which part?
My mom's from Meridian, Mississippi.
Okay.
My dad's from Lumberton, North Carolina, and then I have family from New Orleans.
Gotcha. So y'all wanted to be all the way up here in Cleveland, huh?
They wanted to be.
Okay.
I don't know. I still have a heart for the South.
Yeah.
I used to visit when I was little a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to go back down there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So what's something really fun that you guys love doing together?
Dancing.
Okay.
We
Like
have
salsa or?
just any kind of dancing.
Okay.
And we literally like to do stuff with our kids. So we'll turn this room right here. We do all kind of stuff, man. We come up with just the craziest games and party days. Like we did, we turned outside. Dang, I forgot the name of that show where they have. I wish my husband was up here because I'm getting a moment. But I forgot the movie where the girl is trying to save all of. You got, what was it called? It's all of these different sects of people, and she's trying to save or go beyond the wall. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? Okay, you're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Anyway, I forgot what it's called now.
It's a cartoon or?
No, it's a real movie, and it has, like, they have different series, and the last one came not too long ago. Divergent.
Okay,
Divergent is it.
Okay, I'm thinking it was a TV show.
Movie.
The movie, okay, gotcha.
Divergent.
Okay.
And you know how, if you ever saw it, they have different sects of stuff.
Yeah.
So we split up. We all are one, and we turned the backyard into the different.
I love that.
And we had a ball. We had a fire pit out there.
Okay.
We had we turned all the lights out. Had the fire pit going, had all of these neon things. We just danced it out there. So we do like fun, creative stuff with the kids. But I love to dance.
Yeah.
And sing, so we do that a lot together.
So why do you think that's so important for you as an entrepreneur to still be able to have fun and enjoy yourself?
So I'm gonna give myself a plug. We actually have a coaching program that helps people with that, because you have to stay, at the end of the day, sour. You will be sour.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to do, you want to stay passionate. You want to stay hopeful. You want to have a love for it. And sometimes we get so caught up, right, in the day-to-day and what's going right, what's going wrong, all that kind of stuff, that we forget to have fun.
That's true.
And once again, at some point your life is going to end.
Right.
I want my kids to say, my mom was fun. I want them to have memories that they can tell their kids and their grandkids. And I want to enjoy.
And that is a blessing to be able to have fun, because I actually was just telling my wife last week sometime, babe, I have no problem encouraging and motivating people on Facebook and Instagram, but they don't get a chance to see my goofy side. Like, and I really want them to be able to, like, see me and my goofy side. Yeah. So it's like, my mother-in-law was over the house yesterday, and you know, mamas, mother. It's like you love them to death, but they want to do their own thing with the baby. So I felt like she was patting the baby too hard. So I'm texting my wife as we sitting down with them, like, "Hey, babe,
like, right,
too hard, babe.
Check this.
Get the baby from her.
Before I have to get up."
Right. So then as soon as she left, I got on Instagram and I did one of the little stories. I said, "Y'all ever had a situation where you with your mama-in-law and it's like, what do you do?" And it's like, she was laughing and it was funny, but I was like,
but I ain't joking.
Right, I ain't joking. But I wanted people to be able to start seeing that side of me too. And not just like this prude Manny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. And you know what? When people are around me, I can hear people right now. We see that side of Angie all the time. Right. That's me. Like,
that's awesome.
You gotta have fun.
That's awesome. So, what's your goals? 2018. Let's go.
My goals are to have about 3 or 4 national speaking engagements. So I want to go nationally speaking. I want to grow my business by 80%.
Say that.
I would like to have both of my books, my poetry and my other book called From Broken to Butterfly, completed, and hopefully bestsellers. And I would also like to finish some work around this house. Okay. And I want to take a vacation.
Where do you guys want to go? Down south somewhere?
No, I can go further than that. I actually want to go like to Jamaica or something. Somewhere I haven't been to Jamaica. I've been to the Bahamas, but I like to go to Jamaica or Aruba or something. And just me fun. And my husband though.
Yeah. Just relax. It's so funny, Angela, when I was a kid, when I would see grown-ups saying they about to take a vacation, they just about to sit down and relax. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that look disgusting. Like, you about to do what? That's not fun. Where the toys at? Where the TV? But it's like now as a grown up, I'm like, man, if I could just get some alone time with the wife out of town somewhere, that'd be perfect.
That's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of that, but he was down there for the interview.
Gotcha.
But I just want to have some time just to chill.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right. What motivates you?
Oh, my mom, my brother, my husband, and my kids motivate me like on a daily basis. And what God has done in my life, I'm not trying to be super religious, but I'm just being real. He has done miracles that you would not believe. And so that motivates me. And then Harriet Tubman motivates the heck out of me.
Man, she was incredible.
You know what? Every time I think I know.
Did you watch that special? I mean, like, not a special, that show, Underground?
I didn't really get to see a lot of it.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, she motivates me as though she's still living.
Wow. Why is that? Talk to me.
I think it's because she was probably the first African-American woman I learned about. And I'm always wondering, where did she get that strength?
Yeah.
Because, and the older I get, the more I know, so it makes the story even more complicated. Yeah. Because in school you learn, okay, it's an Underground Railroad, and so you have this idea as a kid, you just running from one place to another. Yeah. It may seem like a block, right? Right. But when I'm like, wait a minute, it take me 12 hours to drive, and we driving on paved road. So you telling me she did that and came back? Yeah. So all of this that was going on, and I realized that she was a very great believer in Christ. She was a Christian and she believed, and I see, okay, that's what he can do, and people don't talk about her enough. But the more you know, I mean, if you think about it, you got how many people doing what, and you sneaking. It's only gonna be dark so long, and there are no street lights. Right. Some of them might not even have shoes.
That's true.
And you talking about not going from Cleveland to Akron, because that's even a trek.
Yeah.
You talking about coming from Mississippi or wherever to what? And And then she's going back.
To get more.
You
would almost think like, okay, you've reached your place of freedom. I'm good. I got a couple of my family members.
Exactly.
Hey, send them a letter. Let them know how to do it.
Right.
Here's the instructions.
Right. Watch the star.
Right.
Do what you do.
But I can't go all the way back down there and risk my life. Yeah. And see, and here's the thing, though, Angela, was deep about that. I feel like us as entrepreneurs, especially in the helping industry,
yes,
we're risking our lives every single day.
Yes.
Not in the same way, but it takes so much effort sometimes to get out of the bed, to keep that joy when there's pain and wants to be present, to still help somebody when you hurt more than they are.
Yep.
That's the struggle.
That's the struggle.
But it's like when we tap into it and are giving people the permission to walk in their freedom, that's the best gift you could ever give them.
Can I share this with you?
Absolutely.
This is just on Mars. So
Yeah.
what I didn't tell you is that I double majored in business and social work. So I spent a lot of my time working in social work.
Gotcha.
And my last big sort of corporate nonprofit job was working with people who were formerly homeless or those who were still homeless. So I've seen, when I tell you, I've been in the courthouse, I've been in the hospital, and I've been at the funeral home, because I've seen what people hear about sometimes on TV.
Yeah.
And I've seen the victories, though. And I have a heart for people. But I was like, this could drain anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It could drain anybody. What kept me going was I knew I could do something. I knew it. I knew that I could, to be there. Sometimes it wasn't even about saying anything to some people. It was just being there. And I say all of that because the same thing happened most recently. I put on Facebook, I said, listen, I have some free time in March. Anybody that needs some help, I will help you clean, paint, decorate. You know, I had this whole thing. I was like, I'm just not going to walk in on clean toilets, and I ain't walking no pets.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of great response from that. And then I also had people like, what's she doing that for? It's a ploy. And I knew that they were going to say that. And I have a smart mouth, and I could have, but I didn't, you know, because it was, what's the point?
Yeah. Right.
They didn't realize that. Remember when I said to you that God said when you start helping other people, that was in the midst of us not knowing where we were going to do about my husband's job.
Wow.
So see, that is what feeds us, though. So that's how you know you're working in your purpose, when you can still find the energy. It doesn't mean that you don't need to take care of yourself.
Right.
But when you get revitalized just by helping other people walk in their freedom, that's when you know you're walking in your purpose.
Yeah,
that's what keeps you going.
That's it. I love that. All right, Angela, any last words?
You know what? I'm grateful. I told Manny when we started, I'm so thankful for this, because I would have never thought a couple of years ago that somebody would ask me to be on a video, to be talking. So, and to everybody else, live your purpose. Don't wait. Do it now. You are worth the plan. So you don't have to rush into something, because what's yours is yours. You ain't got to fight. You don't have to backbite. And sometimes you may walk alone, but that's only so that God can get you alone, so that he can whisper the plan to you, so that you're not confused as to what you're supposed to do.
I love that so much. Angela, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Manny Harshaw, we're out. Peace.
Bye.